How you doing, guys? This is Richie. So today we're going to take a look at The Punisher. This is the Marvel Knights, The Punisher. It's another brand new Punisher book. I looked over Punisher Red Band last week and I thought was excellent. So this is issue number 1 of The Punisher by Jimmy Palmiotti and Dan Ponosian, who's a really good artist. Usually does a lot of cover work, but he does the interiors on this too. So we'll see how this measures up to the Red Band, because the Red Band I thoroughly enjoyed. So Palmiotti, Ponosian, the lettering is done by Richard Starkings and Comic Crafts Tyler Smith. So it gives you a little background on the Punisher here. It's kind of Punisher telling his past and his own story. You could read that if you like. Long Island City in Queens. 25 years before the world to come. I guess that's some kind of story arc now with the new Marvel Knights. It's called The World to Come. So this is kind of set outside of continuity. And you have the usual. Punisher's got somebody by the leg, about to kill him. And if you'll notice here, it's not the normal Punisher skull costume. It's a redesigned skull-like thing. I don't know who came up with that idea or what, but Punisher's holding this guy, kind of like that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Scully, remember that? By his foot, dangling in him over the side, and then you see like there's dead bodies. There's a bloody hand. There's like it's like a meat grinder or some kind of grinder, and there's all blood coming out of it. And they shoot back to Lower East Side, Manhattan, and there's a couple of hookers that this guy's boss sent over there. So he's just checking to say, hey, boss, are you really sending these girls over here? And he's like, yeah, I'm taking care of you for a job well done. And he says, we need to erase this Punisher from existence. And I got just the right guy to do it. I like the artwork, man. I like it a lot. I'm not sure how I feel about that new costume design. So the hookers are dealing with this guy, one of the underlings, and they blow some dust in his face. And she tells him, you only got yourself to blame. She says, our ride's here. This is the place, and here's the Punisher. And he's getting out of his car. It says the latest synthetic drug Morella's men are pushing is called Zombie. Has a body count of over 300 overdoses and counting. Now, compared to fentanyl, that's like light work. And she says, what's the rush, big and tall? The party's this way. And he don't care about any of that. He's a man on a mission. And he says, I need to put an end to this. If you give me the information I want, and the maniac just jumps off the side, kills himself. Bzz. And he goes, oh, guess not. So he ain't getting any information out of that guy, and he falls out and crashes out. And it looks pretty vicious. He falls on top of a truck. He says, obviously, under the influence of Morella's Z-drug, someone got to him before I did. Have to toss this place for any info. So he's looking around, looking through the phone, looking through the paperwork, briefcases. Then he finds something. Bingo, just what I needed. And it shoots over to FBI headquarters. He goes, that's a hell of a way to catch a bus. Damn, this sets us back big time. So the FBI, he was an informant. That guy who jumped out the window, I guess, was an informant for the FBI. That's a great looking face. I don't remember Ponosian's style looking like this. I have another Ponosian book I'm going to break out. It's a horror book with him and Scott Snyder. And I don't remember it. It looks different. Like, it looks like he shifted his style a little bit. Or maybe that's just in my head. And he says, that's why I prefer dogs, loyal to the end. And he says, true, but they can get depressed, though I just don't think it's in their nature to be suicidal. And she starts freaking out, the boss, and get out of my office before I shoot you. And she's saying, we need a new undercover agent. So she's, Howard, you got the news about Juan? She says, yeah, that's a shame. More bad news, Morello left the country in a rush with his wife and El Zombie. So we'll meet El Zombie in a little bit. Dealing with some problems with clients, I heard. With El Zombie there, a bloodbath is guaranteed. If that's true, I'd pay handsomely for that information. So she's looking for info, but she's a little shady herself. Red Hook, Brooklyn. Here's the Punisher, and he's got a rocket launcher. Where the hell did he get a rocket launcher in Brooklyn? Well, I guess anything's possible. But man, I don't know, man. Not convinced that this is the right way to go with the Punisher logo. I wonder if they were trying to avoid the skull, because I don't know if you guys remember the controversy. Oh, the police are using the Punisher skull. It's right wing. It's the Punisher skull, man. He's been using it since the 70s. Just stop with this nonsense. But they can't help themselves. I guess once they saw that the new Punisher that they came up with wasn't doing well, they shifted right back to the old school. And I'm sure these Punisher books sold through the roof. So here he is in Brooklyn with a rocket launcher, and he's shooting them from the rooftop. And the bad guys are saying they know where it's coming from. And then all of a sudden, this guy takes a knife to the head. And it's the Punisher. So he got in that quick, huh? So he's fighting his way through like he always does. He's just tearing everybody up with a knife. And he gets to the last dude and finishes him off. Good action. And there he says it's him. And here comes, this is El Zombie. And he's got the Punisher logo as a bandana around his face. So I guess they shot him up with all that kind of a drug in it, and they're able to control this guy. And I don't even know if the guy's human anymore. He doesn't look like it if you look at his eyes. They look like that milky white. So the Punisher's killing his way to get to him, and El Zombie gets a hold of him and beats him down. I mean, he's shooting him, stabbing him, and the guy's still coming, but some of the other minions hit him with a blow dart and drug him. And he's still fighting it, even though he just got darted. And he pulls out a grenade. And the El Zombie takes it out of his hands and throws it. Or takes it, pulls it out of his mouth. How are you going to pull a... That would break your teeth, man. But it's the Punisher. And El Zombie beats him down. And he's just like, what is going on? How is this guy still... Man, that's a great shot right there. That's a great panel. It really shows like the undeadness of this guy. Those milky eyes and the pale skin. And he's just looking up like, what did I get myself into? And he's losing consciousness. The darts can't stay focused. He's losing it. Oh, Jim Shooter. Rest in peace. And 5.9 miles above Casa Molero, Sonora, Mexico. So tell me, doctor, they going to make it? The wounds would normally be fatal, but I've stopped the internal bleeding the best that I can. Armando, why are you keeping that piece of trash that murdered our son? So the Punisher, years ago, murdered this crime boss and his wife's son. And I don't know if we even know what issue, or I think his name was Juan. So how many Juans do you think the Punisher's killed over the last 30, 40 years? She wants him just dead right away, but he's got a plan. You know, bad guys always have plans. And it's now day 21. And he's waking up. He says, who am I to you? He says, Molero, you can go hit him with another shot. So they trank him again. He says, Armando Molero, a dead man. And he's telling him that attitude's not going to get you anywhere. And El Zombie's just standing guard. And he tells him, show Punisher what happens when people mess with me. And he like boots him in the head. Beats him up pretty good. And he's chained up, can't fight back. And he tells him, he says, I think somewhere deep inside you enjoy this. And he tells him to go to hell. And he says, okay, we'll try again tomorrow. Day 84. So they've had him in captivity for 84 days. And they're doing the same thing over and over. They want Punisher to be like El Zombie. They're trying to break him. Who am I to you, vermin? Day 102. Spits in his face. Again, who am I to you? And he spits. Shoots him up. Has El Zombie beat him down. Who am I to you? Who cares? Up the dosage. So they're shooting him up, whatever this zombie stuff is. And he tells him, you're going to get broken. Nobody can hold out for long. So 20 minutes later, he asks him, do you remember killing my only son? By the time I'm finished with you, I'll have my revenge. So he splits out, and and his wife is saying, listen, I'm not comfortable with this guy in our shelter. And he's saying, don't worry, he's practically a zombie. He's doped up, he's beat up, he's been in captivity for 120 days. He says, whatever it is, I do. I'll show you what I do. And she tells the guards, take a break. Take a break, otherwise I'll tell my husband to shoot you. So he takes a break, and Castle's chained up. Good enough. My husband may have plans for you, but I want my pound of flesh for what you did to my son. So she's got brass knuckles. So he's going to catch a beat down from a lady in a bikini. 3 days later at the home of Howard Perez. So, what a wonderful dish. My mother's recipes with his wife and kids. I was only kidding. No one's going to die. Stop that. And somebody shoots up the whole family. Kids and all. And they're looking through all the destruction, man. He's using like a Gatling gun. Bullets, casings, and close-up of the Gatling gun. And sure enough, I am death. I am El Zombie. So they broke him. And from what I could see, he's under their control for now. So I enjoyed it. It's the Punisher, man. You're not going to get the Watchmen out of it or the Dark Knight Returns or something. This is just straight up old school Punisher, and I enjoyed it. So we'll take a look through issue number 2 when it comes out. And until then, I'll see you guys on the next one.